Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the AAS YouTube channel. And this one is going down the ebook series. And I'm very happy to have the chair of the ebook Editorial Advisory Board with us today, Steve Kawaler. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Frank.
What is your geolocation? Where are you at?
I am in Ames, Iowa, which is near the center of the state, near the center of the upper Midwest.
Okay. And do we have snow this year?
We have snow. It's been a record snowfall this year. We've got 45 inches since the winter began. There's about 10 inches on the ground, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon because we ran out of Fahrenheit. We've been sticking around zero for the last several days.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, because at least in the last couple of years, right, we've heard about lack of snowfall in the Midwest and the upper Midwest. So it's interesting. We're getting quite a bit of snow right now.
Regressing to the mean.
There you go. That's a fantastic background you have. Is that a 2021 calendar on your left there? That's
the Sky Gazers Almanac. I've had that on my wall since I first subscribed to Sky and Telescope in 1972.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm in my 50th year of subscribing to Sky and Telescope.
Wow.
And this remains one of the masterpieces of graphic illustration.
It is a fantastic graphic.
Yeah.
I admit I've only been a Sky and Telescope subscriber for about 4 years now. But yeah, it's one of the things that really catches my eye when I go through the issue is that fantastic graphic. I'd love to learn how to make one.
Yep, and it's now a AAS affiliate, so that's even more exciting.
That is. And for those who are watching and know a little about this channel, we do have a Sky and Telescope author series where we chat with the authors of their articles or their columns in Sky and Telescope. So check those out if you haven't already. So ebooks, this is a relatively new adventure for the AAS and our publisher IOP. So what are ebooks?
Well, ebooks are the AAS ebook series, which we're doing in cooperation with the Institute of Physics Press, are books. They're books. They're electronic books in the sense that they are first to digital. So in the old days, when you would write a book, it would be printed on paper, right, bound between two pieces of heavier paper, and that was the target format. The target format these days within our ebook series is an electronic publication. They look like books in the sense that the usual way that they're distributed is as a PDF with pages and all that sort of stuff. But the format does allow authors and readers to interact with one another through special features that are slowly being incorporated into these publications.
That's cool. And of course, now these days they probably come on Kindles and iPads, and they come in a variety of formats, not just PDF. So if you like,
that's correct. They're available as EPUBs, Kindle format. PDF is, I don't know what the statistics are, but my expectation is that PDF is one of the more popular formats. You can even print them.
Wow.
Why one would want to, I'm not so sure, but you can.
I like the interaction part. Sounds very interesting. So what is there a specific target audience for the ebooks? In other words, typically when you write a book, okay, this is an undergraduate book, this is for the general public, this is the grad level text, this is sort of a monograph of current state of the art for practitioners. Does it span that range, or does it have a niche it likes to go after?
All of the above. The initial target was membership of the AAS, so professional astronomers, levels ranging all the way from astronomy students at the advanced level as undergraduates and graduate, all the way through seasoned practitioners, astronomy educators, etc. So if you're a member of the American Astronomical Society, the eBooks program has material there that's appropriate for your professional interests and also for your curiosity. The initial target were treatises on the science of astronomy at the professional level. That was where we thought that it would be a good place to start, because we had lots of professional scientists who were really good writers and experts in their field and wanted to tell others not in their field what they were doing. And it's very quickly expanded. Once the opportunity became known, it expanded to other areas like descriptions of software packages, large software packages like Phoebe, modeling binary star observations. There are some educational titles
Right.
for undergraduate level texts. There's graduate texts and so on.
I think I've seen Chris Impey's on that one.
Yes, yes, we're very happy that he's one of our authors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't mean this to be a horrible question. I don't mean it in the way it might sound.
I'll try and give you a horrible answer in that.
Okay, fair. What a deal. But why ebooks? I mean, there's lots of publishers. Why start a new series on ebooks? What was the motivator? What is the motivator?
Well, the Institute of Physics Press is the latest, most recent publisher of the journals, the AAS journals, Astronomical Journal, Astrophysical Journal, etc. And when we began publishing with them, we realized, and they realized, well, we realized that they had capabilities that were extraordinary in terms of modern publishing modes. And they realized that the AAS had this trove of expertise in astrophysics that we brought to the table in this agreement. And so while initially our interactions with them was solely on the journal side, we began to realize that we could produce a different publication format that could serve both of our purposes. Their purpose in terms of broadening their portfolio of books, and our purpose is in the form of getting astronomical monographs out to members and to the community as a whole. And so in 2015, I would guess, or thereabouts, discussions began to happen between IOP and the AAS about giving authors in the AAS a possibility for publishing with IOP. The advantages being it would be under editorial control of the American Astronomical Society, so of American astronomers, those peers, with an infrastructure that was already well oiled in the sense of AAS working with IOP to getting product out. And in 2016, the AAS Council decided to enter into this agreement with IOP to publish up to 10 books a year in frontline astrophysics research. First to digital again, giving us the flexibility of producing or providing the material in a way that allows more interaction, more engagement with the science. At first, we didn't really know which direction it would go. We knew what we could do in the sense of having experts in areas writing books about their expertise. But one thing that we found in AAS publishing is that when you provide a platform, astronomers are very innovative in making that platform do things you didn't anticipate. We saw that with the research notes of the American Astronomical Society, for example, not too long ago, and presumably you'll have chat with Chris Lintott about that. And so I was initially a little concerned, but optimistic that given this platform, astronomers would rise to the challenge of making the best of it. And so now we've got quite a series, quite a range of subjects and a range of formats that have come out of this.
So when was the first one published?
First ones were published, I believe, in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
You can check me on that. 2 books on stellar interiors, one on red supergiants and another text on stellar evolution and interiors. And both of those books are among our bestsellers still.
Mm-hmm.
And I used one of them in my stellar interiors class, in fact, my graduate interiors class, as a supplement to my own textbook, of course.
That was Emily Levesque?
Emily Levesque and Henny Lammers, yeah.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, and those, the stellar interiors text is wonderful in the sense that there's lots of questions at the end for students and faculty, professors teaching to work through the kinds of physics that's presented about stars at the beginning. Your classic graduate textbook, with the advantage, again, of being available to those of us who need it for free. This is one of the key points that makes this ebook series a little bit different than others. is that if your institution, your university, your research lab, what have you, subscribes to the IOP ebook series, then everyone in that institution gets to download the book with no copy protection for free and use it forever.
Cool.
Right. So as long as your institutional library has bought into this sort of thing, 10 titles on average per year appear that the astronomers can use for free, that they can use as textbooks in a class, and all the students in the class get the book downloaded for free and keep it forever.
Nice, nice. So it's been about 3 years, so it's probably on about 30 ebooks roughly?
There are 28 that are either done or about to appear, and we're under contract for several more. The initial goal was to have 10 titles per year, and so we're pretty close to that. And given the popularity of the series for authors as well as readers, we're hoping to exceed that over the next several years.
Very nice. So what is your role with the ebooks? I mean, I know you're chair, and so there's some board. So is this a board of one? Or is this a board of 100, or what is the structure here?
Well, as an astronomer, I'm ashamed to say that your order of magnitude is incorrect.
Oh, bummer.
No, there's a board of order 10. So you take the logarithmic average, you get to 10. No, there's a bunch of us. It's a nice working board with expertise across astronomy represented. And the role of the editorial board is to, first of all, search out and sort of snare good authors, and also to balance the subject matter of the series, to make sure that as we move forward, we're covering all areas of astrophysics as represented by the interests of the American Astronomical Society.
Very cool.
So we call our friends, neighbors, those of us that live next to astronomers, colleagues, and talk to them about whether or not they have a book in them. And if they have a book in them, how the ebook series with the AAS might meet their needs. And then once we get an expression of interest from them, we put them in touch with the Institute of Physics acquisitions editor, who works with them on format, style, and so on.
Interesting.
So we also evaluate proposals that come in.
Okay.
You know, as far as recruiting goes, yeah, we do try and find people doing interesting things to write, that are interested in writing books about them. But we also do get relatively frequently unsolicited proposals. That is, somebody says, I want to write a book. Here's a book series from my professional society. Maybe they want to publish it. So they'll send us a proposal. And then the board will look at that proposal, get external reviews of this proposal, and then work with the author to see if we can't come up with something that's mutually agreeable.
Cool. And so for people who, potential ebook series authors who may not have been contacted but would be interested, what constitutes a proposal? What does that look like?
Well, an outline. Well, first an idea. We want to know what you want to write about. So a page or so of a description of the subject, how you're going to treat it, what level you're shooting for, whether it's going to be for a graduate's text or a handbook. Is it a history of an interesting mission or development, and so on. An outline, a sketch of a table of contents. We do ask the authors, prospective authors, to give us some sense of what the competition is. Is there a need for this book? Are there other books out there that already do a really good job? Or are there books out there that are reasonably good but dated, old, and need updating, and so on? And then we look at that and then send that proposal, a couple of pages worth, off to other people, not just the board, to evaluate.
Okay.
And I should say that the board is a finite number of people, and we each have a finite circle of contacts. And so we strongly encourage people to send proposals. If they're not contacted by us, that means absolutely nothing, except that we are not as good at our job as we need to be. And so we do look forward to getting proposals in.
Okay, so we'll probably put that link in the description down below the video if people are interested. Go ahead and contact and get it going. And of course, there's also new fields coming up in astronomy that didn't exist even 10 years ago. Gravitational wave sort of sticks out. But there are others as well of new fields coming up where a new ebook would be a valuable contribution.
Absolutely.
Cool. So what's kind of a rough time scale? Let's say I've got an idea. I submit that idea to the ebook board. It goes through some sort of a process. Then I presumably do my thing on less than 10-year time scales.
Way less.
There's my horrible order of magnitude estimate skills again.
You're not very good at this, are you, Frank?
Very good at asking leading questions. But how long does it take to publish an ebook from, let's say, when you sign on the dotted line, say, okay, I'm going to do this? What sort of a time scale do we talk about? Weeks, months?
Years. Okay. So in this case, the range is huge.
Yeah.
Those who are watching who have written a book all know that it always takes longer than you think. As co-author of a textbook, I know it takes longer than you think, and it's a lot more work than you anticipate. And the publisher realizes this and tries to work with the author to come up with a reasonable expectation that a book will be done in a finite, what sounds like a long time, but
right,
as you work ends up not being so long. I can speak about the actual ebooks time scale because I was a co-author of one of the books.
Oh, okay.
The book on the Kepler mission that Steve Howell put together. He put together a fairly large number of people that had activity during the mission, and I was one of many of them. So I did get to see the process from that point of view. And Steve is listed as the editor. He's pretty much the author because of the way that he put the book together. Required a huge amount of work. Steve's a busy guy, and working with Kepler and with other, doing his own research and so on, it was not a full-time job for him by any means. But it still came together from the time the proposal was approved until the publication was less than 2 years.
Oh, okay.
And that's herding cats, if you will, because of the way that particular book was set up. So that I would say is on the longish side of what we would like, but still perfectly acceptable. Much longer than that, and the field changes underneath you, right? And faster than that is possible. Some of the books that we have in the series are 100 pages or so. And so it's possible to put together a relatively short contribution in an appropriately short period of time.
So on the Kepler mission one, how many authors were on that one?
Oh, you would ask me that. I'm not sure. There were of order 20.
Okay, I was going to say less than 1,000. So,
but you would be right.
Yeah, there you go. But my point is that they need not be single author or double author contributions. That it's okay to do a topic where you have 20 authors each doing a particular chapter in the collection.
Right. There is a sweet spot in there, right?
Okay.
In the case of the Kepler book, 20 authors was a lot of people to be working with, and Steve did a masterful job of handling that. One person alone can also write a decent book in a reasonable amount of time, but many of our titles have multiple authors, not in the sense of everybody writing a little bit of everything, but in terms of chapters written by specialists in those areas. So yeah, a proposal like that can be very effective.
Cool.
Yeah.
I can hardly wait to hear an Ice Cube or a LIGO ebook where there are thousands of authors.
One of the problems with big projects like that is they're very busy doing science. And so writing a book about it at the time that you're doing it is something that a lot of people are reluctant to do. That said, at the end of a mission, when there's a little bit more time, yet the data are still quite current. That's an excellent time if someone is considering putting a capstone on a mission, sort of a place mark saying, this is what we wanted to do, this is what we did, this is where we are now. That's an excellent, an ebook is an excellent way of putting that sort of bookend on the project.
Interesting. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. So let me ask the main question. If I'm a single author, I've got a partner, and I want to do an ebook, what's in it for me?
Well,
why would I want to do this?
Eyeballs.
Yeah. Clicks, likes, subscribe.
When the book is complete and published, it's instantly available to libraries around the world, to subscribers around the world, as I mentioned, for free. And so your book will be seen by anybody that wants to see it without them having to figure out how to buy it, what grant funds to use, or what personal funds to use. It's available to them. If your book is written as sort of a tutorial in a field or a summary of an exciting science area that a professor wants to use in a course, all of his students will get that for free. If it's a capstone story of a mission like the Kepler book, then not only do students get to see that and people working in the field get to see that, but the press gets to see that. The public gets to read that. And so a good number of our books have portions that are appropriate for somebody without a PhD in astronomy, with quite a number of people who just like the field, like reading about the field, can get access to these books and enjoy them as long as they want to either visit a university and sit down and read at a terminal, or they can buy individual copies if they would like. So the advantage is simply you'll write a book and people will see it. And if you want people to see it, not as basically a PDF that you've thrown on archive, but as a finished, quality produced book, this is definitely something to look at. Another thing is that when you publish a book, you get paid for it. Often the hourly wage isn't something that's anything to brag about, but it still can be a nice, tidy sum of money. And the model that we use with the ebooks allows you to see that money much sooner than in other places in the industry. So if someone watching this is interested in the process or is interested in proposing, by all means, they should contact at the link down below, or give me a call, or talk to the people at the IOP Press to see what it's all about.
And those eyeballs, help raise one's profile. So maybe you end up in a Rolodex for, New York Times or something like that, but it raises your profile in the field of, a recognized expert in the particular topics. It's got some benefits that way to potential authors. So
absolutely
cool. And that is a great place to end on benefits to authors. So Steve, I want to thank you so much for spending some time today talking about ebooks, the newness of them, the advantages to authors.
It's a pleasure, and I hope I'm kidding with your order of magnitude disability there.
I have a very thick skin.
Yeah, editors do grow that, don't they?
Indeed we do. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.